Hi, let's take a minute and have a look at the PSAT. A brief overview of what we're going to talk about. So first of all, what is the PSAT? It measures academic skills that you'll need for college. It's co-sponsored by College Board and the National Merit Scholarship Corporation. College Board is responsible for both Ready Step at the 8th grade level, and it is also SAT and AP courses, advanced placement courses. College Board is in charge of all of that. It serves as an entry point to the National Merit Scholarship Corporation competitions, and it's good practice for the SAT. And approximately 3.5 million students participate each year, which is almost half of 11th graders and over half of 10th graders or younger. The benefits is it's good preparation for your SAT, which is the one that really counts for admissions at a lot of institutions of higher learning. Scholarship and recognition opportunities, college and career planning tools, admissions and financial aid information from colleges, and feedback on academic skills. All of these very important. What skills are tested on the PSAT? You have three main sections. These would be critical reading, mathematics, and writing skills. Of these, it's very similar to the Ready Step, and again, similar to your SAT. Critical reading questions include questions from humanities, social studies, natural sciences, and literature. That would be the content for the passage parts of the test. 13 sentence completions and 35 passage-based reading questions. Those passages range anywhere from a short 100 words up to a larger 800-word passage. The mathematic questions, as you can see on the mathematics part, cover a variety of different items, and there are 28 multiple choice questions followed by 10 student-produced response questions. The third and final part of the test, the writing skills, would be focusing on editing, grammar, usage, and organization. 20, improving sentences questions. 14, identifying sentence error questions. And this could be a variety of things from grammar, spelling, mechanics, things like this. 5, improving paragraph questions. So how does the PSAT compare to the SAT? Well, if we look at the question types, they're pretty much the same, except the only difference is that the PSAT does not have an essay component. The length of the test for the PSAT is 2 hours and 10 minutes, whereas the SAT is 3 hours and 45 minutes. The level of difficulty for the PSAT does not have 11th grade level math questions, as does the other test. So let's look at some sample questions for a moment, give you some idea of what you're going to encounter. Critical reading. Passages include sentence completions. If you look at this example here provided, Roger said the report was significant. Heather contradicted him, saying that all of the information presented was, and then you have a choice of words here. We see that E, immaterial, is the correct choice. It goes on to tell you why. So you will encounter sentence completion questions like this. Knowing vocabulary is very helpful, and knowing how to attack a piece of reading to go straight to what it's trying to say is also an important part of that. Here's a passage excerpt and a question that follows. Here again, knowing vocabulary is a critical component to success, even on the passage-based questions. The math section could look something like this. The answer is A, and it tells you why. Also, in the math text section, you will encounter a student-produced response. And this one shows you an example of what that would look like. Student-produced responses will have sample grids and look something like this, so there will be quite a bit of bubbling, as always, on standardized tests. Calculators are encouraged. A scientific or graphing calculator is recommended. Bring a familiar calculator. Test day is not the time to figure out how to use a new calculator. So let's look at writing skills, the third and final section of the test. On the writing skills, you will have to improve sentences. You'll have a passage. Part of it will be underlined, and it will give you different choices so that you can pick the one that would be best to substitute for the underlined part. Also in the writing skills section, you will be identifying sentence errors. This could be punctuation, grammar, word choice, subject-verb agreement, dangling participles, capitalization errors, just a variety of different things that you could be looking for sentence errors. It even could be something a little more complicated like parallelism or something like this. Then there's a section on improving sentences. On this section, you have the passage and the explanation there. Improving paragraphs. Improving paragraphs is just a longer version of what we just looked at with the sentences, where you try to put down something that would help the paragraph be stronger. For test preparation, as far as strategies go, how do we prepare for the PSAT? Well, first of all, it's good to know how it is scored. The multiple choice questions equal 1 point for each correct answer, and 1/4 of a point is deducted for each incorrect answer. The math grid ends, 1 point for each correct, 0 for the incorrect, 0 points for omitted questions, and the scale is 20 to 80 for each test section. So what you're really trying to do is have your correct answers add up to a certain number without there's very little penalty except the 1/4 of a point here on the multiple choice for selecting the wrong answer. It contains information to help you improve your academic skills when you get your report back. It's also going to list that you have the best skills that you have the best chance of improving with additional work. It will include advice written by teachers on how to improve those skills. This is all a critical part of improving your skill sets before you take the SAT. So long term, what is the one thing you can do to help more than anything else? First of all, read. Continuous reading improves vocabulary and develops essential skills. Read more books than the ones required for class. I know here at Chaparral Star Academy, students are always asked to have outside reading books in addition to the ones that are taught in class. And they practice their silent sustained reading skills, their annotation skills, critical reading of the passages, self-generated vocabulary list, a variety of different things, but it all comes back to the fact that we must continue reading as we progress up into the grades there and make that a daily activity. Take challenging courses that have rigor. This is also important to help develop and strengthen your critical thinking skills. In the short term, you can take the practice test that's in the workbook that many of you receive. Understand how things are scored and develop some kind of educated guessing strategy like process of elimination, where you eliminate the ones you know are wrong, thereby increasing the chances of guessing correctly if you narrow it down to 2. Familiarize yourself with the test format, question types, and directions. It's never good to walk into these testing situations and be surprised. I might also say that when you're thinking about these types of tests, strategies, that there are many different workbooks in bookstores that you could purchase, and there is just a huge number of online websites that you can visit that also have practice. So you can do either or both of those things, and that's certainly going to give you an advantage. So looking back over the long-term and short-term skills, I think it's important to develop a strategy. You can visit collegeboard.org. They also give you test taking tips and other practice information, things that you will need to take the test. So this is an important part of your high school experience, taking the PSAT. It should be taken seriously, and there is preparation that is available for you. So I hope you will get started with that soon, and all the luck to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.